Welcome, okay. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and my name is Duchess Swan. Thank you for tuning into my channel. Today we're going to be answering the question, how do I find my passion? On this channel, we try to answer questions about life from a psychological and philosophical perspective. I am a psychology student, and I hope I will be able to counsel you to make the right decisions. And by right decisions, I mean what's right for you, what aligns with your heart, and what makes you feel good, what feels right deep within your soul and within your spirit, what your body deems is right. When you're trying to find out how to find your passion, the very first question you should ask yourself is, what do I love? What do you love? For me, I love psychology, and I love to write. I mix the things that I love and I put them together to create a potion, something that can enchant, help others, make them grow, something to entertain other people, something that others can learn from. What do you love? How do you know what you love? What is that one thing that your heart gravitates towards? Perhaps you're playing video games, and you can't help but play video games like Palia, EVE Online, Minecraft. Perhaps you love nature. Perhaps you love space. Or maybe at school, you can't help but study practical subjects. Stuff like accounting, maybe ICT, engineering. You're into the more practical stuff. Ask yourself these questions. What did I like to do as a kid? It sounds very funny, but the things that we love, we know what we love by looking into our childhood. And you may be thinking, Duchess, my childhood was exceedingly traumatic. It's okay. We've all had traumatic childhoods. But even though your childhood was traumatic, it does not in any way hinder or stop you from being a child. The funny thing about children is that they have this amazing capacity to explore mentally. Their minds can grow. Their hearts easily attach. It's a beautiful thing, and it's a gift. They still dream, even in places where they were deprived of sleep. So ask yourself, what did I love as a kid? What did I spend so much time doing? What could I do for hours? When I was a child, I would write for hours. I would just be writing. My family knows that I would just take any paper with any space and I would write. And they also knew that I was a helper. I was constantly asking to help around the house. Mom, can I help you? Sis, can I help you? Dad, can I help? I always wanted to help people. The feeling of knowing that I helped somebody, that I put something into someone else felt great. And also the idea of entertaining people. I like the idea that my imagination can be a source of entertainment for my teachers and for my family. And that's how I grew to be a writer and a psychology student. This will lead us to our next point. What do you naturally do? What are you naturally good at? What is your talent? For me, it was writing. The thing that you loved as a child is most likely what you're naturally good at. And sometimes you don't invest in those talents because you don't think you're important, or you don't think it's worth it. You don't see any value in it. Maybe someone crushed your dreams when you were younger. Trust me, it is liberating to look at your inner child, to look at who you were as a child and try to pursue those dreams. If you have no idea where to start with finding your passion, look at how things were as a child. Start there. Tell yourself everything I wanted to be when I was 6 years old. I'm going to try and achieve those things. Try and achieve those dreams. And I know what you're saying. No, you don't understand. My childhood was severely traumatic. As I said, children are very powerful. Their minds are very powerful. Never underestimate the mind and the creativity of a child. They can find ways to blossom, to bloom, to sprout their imaginations in the toughest of situations. It's like a God-given gift. Think clearly. Think clearly. I'm sure you're able to remember moments where you wanted something, you wanted to do something so badly, and a family member or someone in your life stopped you from doing that, or you feel like they disadvantaged you or discouraged you or ripped that opportunity away from you. Think of opportunities like that. Another thing I loved to do as a kid was business. I was always trying to find a way to do some sort of business, to start some sort of business. The funny thing, pardon me, the funny thing is that I would get involved in these like bake sales and like extracurricular activities where you would plan events. I loved it, planning events, especially things like dances, get-togethers, bake sales, charity. I did all these things. Pardon me, my alarm. I did all these things as a kid, and I found pleasure and enjoyment in them. And funny enough that now looking at all the things that I want to do, all the things I am currently doing, and my future, where I'm gravitating towards, I realized that it's all the things that I was doing as a child. It's like a cheat code. It's the ultimate cheat code. If you want to know what it is your passion is, what you love and what you're naturally good at, look at the things that you did when you were a child. The next point is, what do I want to try? I think I will talk more about the act of trying in itself in later videos. But this is an important question to ask yourself. What do you want to try? When it comes to exploration, how do you want to explore? Now, it's very important for you to do these things in order, because when you do them in order, when you know what you love and you know what you're naturally good at, it will be easier for you to pick some things that you want to try. One of the lies you'll hear from the devil, negative thoughts, people who try to project onto you, is that you have nothing of value to offer. That's not true. You're human beings. Human beings are extremely valuable. Just ask the black market. Weird example, I know, but look at this outlook. What did you expect? But just ask the black market. Human beings are very valuable. They cost a lot. So if your limbs and your organs cost so much, what about your ideas? What about your spirit? What about your feelings? And you may be like, but I'm a boy, I'm a dude. So being a guy has got nothing to do with not tapping into your feelings. We all have feelings. I know guys tend to think, oh, I'm a dude, I only feel anger. Anger is a feeling, my guy. Anger is a feeling. And my content is for both men and women. I counsel both men and women. But the counseling that I do is not on masculine energy or like feminine energy. There are a lot of people who talk about that. I will talk about dark feminine energy. I will have a series on dark feminine energy for the girlies. But what I really talk about here is answering life's questions as if we're in a counsel session, right? What questions would you ask your counselor? How do I find my passion? How do you find your passion? So, back to the topic of value. You're very valuable. You have a lot to offer. Do not let anyone or anything lie to you that you have nothing to offer. Your emotions, your thoughts. There's so many videos out there, by the way, on logic, emotions, thoughts, masculine and feminine energy. If you want to learn about that, there's so many videos on that. But here you're here to take away. You're here because you want to answer the question, how do I find my passion? And one of those things is by answering the question, what you have to offer. What you love and what you're naturally good at, and the things that you want to try. But when I say, what do I want to try? I'm talking about skills. What skills do you want to build, right? When you mix those three things, you get value. And that value you can use to start a brand, a business, to start your passion, your career, your vocation, your mission, your ministry, whatever it is that God has called you to do. So first of all, you need to do the inner work and find out that you have value. You have plenty of value to give out to other people. Don't ever be lied to that you have nothing to give to this world. You have plenty. Oh my goodness, forgive the bug in the background. That's embarrassing. Never be lied to that you have no value. As a human being, you have plenty of value to give. Okay? Find out what that value is and get to work. Some of that work means inner work, meaning you believe that you yourself, you're valuable enough to have value and to be able to give value. So do a lot of inner work. If there's something that you can take from this video, do a lot of inner work. Shadow work, inner work, looking at your past self, whatever it is they want to call it, do that. It will help you a lot. And the thing about doing that work is that you will have to talk with your inner child a lot. Okay? You have a lot to learn from that little boy, that little girl. You have so much to learn from them. Heed their advice. Heed their advice. Heed their advice. Take them seriously. And heal your relationship with them. Heal those wounds. And you can totally heal those wounds while you're working your journey to become rich, successful, to find your passion. You can do all of those things at once. You're not limited in any way. Last but not least, which is like a roundup of all these questions, what is my desire? Your desire is now a mixture of what you love, what you want to try, what you're naturally good at, and what value you believe you can add to other people. That's your desire. That's your desire. So this part is really short because what your desire is, as answering the question, what is my desire? We're basically now talking about taking all of those answers to those questions and putting them together to find something of substance. So put those four together and find something of substance that you can say, okay, this. And it can be multiple things. You have multiple talents, but they should all work together in accordance. My work in psychology is very linked to my work in counseling, is very linked to the multidimensional science we teach at Pronoia radio station. It's very linked to my novels because when I write my nonfiction book, they're all based off of the philosophies and the beliefs that I teach. Okay? They inspire my books. They're all linked together. And it also the things that I like. I have other goals and plans, obviously, that I will not share, but basing off of this aesthetic, the background sound, me, this aesthetic, you can get the idea of the stuff that I love and the stuff that I'm putting together. So that's where you answer that question, what is my desire, by mixing these four things together. Last but not least, and most importantly, what does God say? And I know a lot of people say, well, I don't believe in God. That's okay. But you have to have a certain higher power that you are linked and you're connected to. Many people believe in many things. I am Christian. I believe in God. You have to answer to God when it comes to your passions and your desires. And you may think, that's so scary. God just wants me to be a pastor. Like, God just wants me to do missionary work. No. Do you know what God wants? What is my desire? That question that you answered on number 5, that's what God wants you to do. There's a reason why I said, look at your inner child. Look at your inner child for a reason. That's the most purest form of you. Those desires and the goals and the dreams and the talents that were still deep within you when God had given them to you in conception. He gave those desires to you. Before you were in your mother's womb, He knew you. He knew your desires. You have those desires because He gave them to you. And we will talk more about desires of human beings and consciousness, spirit, body, and flesh more on this channel. But I just want to conclude that when it comes to God, you really need to ask yourself, ask Him and yourself, does this align fully? Not that it doesn't align at all. Does this align fully what that looks